I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
Getting to the point, but taking the scenic route to get there. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Hey, what's happening? Happy Tuesday. Good afternoon and welcome. It's the Bottom Line on 100.7 The Score, 107thescore.com, and the 100.7 The Score mobile app, brought to you by our friends at Happy State Bank. We're watchable on TV, Fox 34 News now, and on YouTube. Check out the Double T Sports Network there. However, wherever you're joining us from, we are glad that you've decided to make us part of your Tuesday. Jeff McGuire sits to my right. I'm Chois Woodman. Clint Scott back behind the glass taking care of us. You are more than welcome to chime in. If you got thoughts, comments, questions, bring them all in on the Yates Flooring Center chat line through that 100.7 The Score mobile app, which you can carry anywhere with you. Even listen in out in Bargaintown, New Jersey. What is up, Jeffrey?
What's up? So I'm supposed to say now, right?
Not exactly, but that's okay.
Did the best I could.
You tried.
I'm sorry.
We'll give you an E for effort. We got a handful of things to get into. Basketball coach has a new contract.
How about that?
That's a good thing, we think. No, there's no we think. I'm just trying to make sure I'm not, leaving anything unturned. But yeah, this is a really good thing because this is.
Would you rather him not?
No. I was just hoping for the lifetime contract, since those kind of went away. That was a thing for a little bit. Mike Gundy got one, didn't work out there. Tim Tadlock still has one.
Last time I checked, yes.
Yeah. There was a handful of them around the country. That Calipari was one with the lifetime contract, right? Right? Calipari at Kentucky, I'm pretty sure, had the lifetime contract thing where it was a rolling contract, and then that didn't work out.
Don't remember.
So
I slept since then.
Yeah, it has been a little while since that came out. But we are on the eve of Big 12 baseball tournament, and we will.
Yes, correct. It was. I couldn't remember if it was just a really long deal or if it was
had
the lifetime contract.
I think his was the first one.
His was the first that we saw of the 10-year rolling deal.
Yeah, and I think Tadlock's is a 7-year rolling deal. But
there would be people that tell you that a lifetime contract just does not give the coach motivation to keep coaching.
Oh, I think there's truth to that in certain situations. Mike Gundy is no longer under his lifetime contract because they ripped that one away from him, so it doesn't feel very lifetime. But, yeah, so we will talk some Big 12 baseball. We will get into a little bit of a preview of what it could look like for the Red Raiders in the tournament. Bracket odds, as the odds are out for the tournament.
Oh, this tournament. Got it.
Yeah.
I'm just making sure we're not looking at the other tournament.
Not the big one. No, I'm not going to. I'm going to be where my feet are, Jeff. I'm going to wait till we win this thing before we get to next week.
Oh, I was thinking next year.
No.
The next bracket. The big bracket with like
the
68 teams in it.
Yeah. After we win this week. Man can dream. A man can dream. So, yeah, we'll talk about that. We'll talk some Big 12 football, Red Raider football. Variety of things to get into over the next 3 hours or so. I mean, we got flag football that's okayed for the Olympics. We got bracketology that's out way too early.
So we are going to talk about the bracket.
That one, yeah, I guess we could. Flying cars are here. There's that. So Rangers, we'll talk some Rangers. As the Rangers, I think, have a pretty big series this week. Not I think. It is big. I think not massive, but it's a pretty big one for this early in the season to figure out where you're at. I think your previous one was that, and you finished up 500. But this one is against a better overall opponent as they start up with the Yankees tonight. So we'd love to have y'all's thoughts, your comments, your questions, whatever you want to bring in on the Yates Flooring Center chat line through that 100.7 The Score mobile app. Someone says, let's go to next day's bracket? Is that what we're talking about?
Don't know.
Okay.
I was as confused as you were when I saw that.
Choice, you stated they had lifetime contracts that clearly aren't worth the paper they're written on. Yeah, most of those guys. I still think Tim Tadlock's worth a ton to this university. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see some coaching changes this offseason. Not Tim Tadlock, but maybe some around him. Wouldn't be surprised at it. And I still think you're going to see him at the helm, hopefully for a while, and figuring out how to get this little skid turned around. What is your biggest sports interest this week?
Oh, it's still the Big 12 tournament for Jack. I mean, that's still one. I was really paying attention last night to Davis Martin's outing.
I figured you
and
were.
all the zeros that were thrown up on both sides of the offense.
Based off my not so great math, I think we will get a Davis Martin Rangers matchup this weekend, right?
Sunday, yes, is the scheduled
start.
day.
Okay.
So if you are going to be in Arlington on Sunday,
so that doesn't top.
In Chicago. Take that back, huh?
So that doesn't top your.
I don't think I'll have to worry about the Big 12 tournament on Sunday.
No, let's talk about the whole week. What's the thing you're looking forward to the most?
Big 12 tournament.
Okay.
I don't want Davis to beat the Rangers. I don't want the Rangers to pound Davis Martin.
Well, you can still have it both ways on that.
A 1-1 game. I don't want both teams. That's the only game of the series I'm conflicted on.
Or they can just do what the White Sox can do what they normally do with Davis and just not give him no run support.
Exactly.
So he can go 7 innings of
I would like
one
him to
hit
get a win,
ball.
though.
He can go 7 innings of one hit ball, not get a decision, and then the Rangers blow it open in the 8th and 9th.
There is one game every 5 days I want the White Sox to win, and it's the one Davis Martin's pitching, because he has been screwed more times than any man should be screwed as a Major League Baseball player for not getting a win because he gives up none or 1 run.
It'd actually be kind of fun if he does give up 1 run and it's just a Josh Young home run. That'd be kind of fun. I'm fine with that. So those two guys got to play together, so I'm sure that would be a little bit of a blast there. Get it? Home run blast?
Yeah, no,
Okay.
I got you.
Sorry. I also stumbled across, we'll see if we get to this today, from another school's publication, Colorado Buffaloes Wire. They are win-loss predictions for every single team in the Big 12. So we may dive into those. Win-loss predictions for every team in the Big 12. I'm trying to figure out what's going on here.
You were going to dream.
Oh, dreaming. My bad. Dream no little dreams. It's the bottom line.
Is it? Or is it an opera right now?
We will get to
you don't even know.
Headlines. Coming up next on 100.7 The Score.
Getting to the point, but taking the scenic route to get there. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Here in about 30 minutes, we'll talk some Big 12 baseball. Looking ahead to the Red Raiders' potential matchups, the bracket, the odds for the tournament, all of the above. There's also a story up at DoubleTSportsNetwork.com if you want to go take a look for yourself in all of those categories. Chances for the Red Raiders to make a run. He's Jeff McGuire. To my right, I'm Chois Woodman. Clint Scott across the way taking care of us. He'll continue to chime in. If you got thoughts, comments, questions, bring those in on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Let's see. Quite a few thoughts on the chat line, so we'll clean up there. Jeff, you can probably find a motorcycle in Bargain Town.
Bet you could. I bet I could. It's the getting there and getting it back.
How about a trip to Jersey? You ought to go. Just fly to Jersey and then drive back on the motorcycle.
That's a very long ride.
Yeah, it would be.
When I did, and this was, this was 10 years ago, 8 years ago.
Is this when you laid the bike down before you left town?
No, it wasn't before I left town.
Oh, okay.
It was when I laid it down, it was remember when I-20 and 84 was messed up? That intersection?
Still is, but yeah.
Well, no, it was this was
I know.
Early on in the messed up section.
Okay.
It's
still
wasn't
not clean. Yeah.
I was not prepared for the right turn because I was expecting a left turn.
Ooh, yeah.
So that was when I laid the bike down. It was fine. So was I. I was going slow enough where that's what I was supposed to do at that point. I rode from here to Dallas, Dallas to Houston, Houston back to Dallas, Dallas to Lubbock to visit my dad and my sister in a week trip. And I liked my motorcycle. I love having a motorcycle. I did not want to see my motorcycle for a few days afterwards.
There you go.
That was 1,000 miles, basically, a little more than that by the way I went. And yeah, I was done not to be on the bike for a while.
It's 1,000 miles. Never mind.
Oh, okay.
No Vanessa Carlton fans back there.
You can't do it in that low of an octave. You got to get there. We go.
That I would have get.
You got to get up there, man. Insiders are saying Ohio State is out, KU or NC State. This is all KU. That's what it is. It's going to end up being Darrion to KU, and he's just using these other schools as leverage to get.
I'm not counting out the Red Raiders yet.
I am.
I'm not saying he's coming back. I want to make this clear. I don't know where he's going. I'm not going to throw a dart at a board and try to and use it to guess. But if people involved want him back, I think he will be back.
1% chance, Red Raiders.
The problem is we've already gone through the preliminary discussion.
Yeah.
All of those things are fair. If somebody wants him back, I think he'll be back.
He's not coming back to Lubbock unless there's a big discount from him, and he's not doing that. So, all good that buyout doesn't drop by $1 million in one day in the middle of the coaching change season. Yeah, that's
a really good plan on the buyout.
That's a good thing.
This is what it is.
I'm sure there is a date when it drops, but it's probably
September 1st
or July 1st or something, not May 1st. What was ours? Was it June 1st?
That was
when did
like right
Beard
after
make
the
the
damn
switch?
tournament.
I think it was May 1st. Was it
May 1st?
Tadlock is faithful and dedicated to his coaches. If there are any coaching changes on the assistants, it will be Tadlock making the changes or them pursuing other opportunities. There will not be pressure from the admin, or all will be moving on. Do you feel assistants have a large impact on our success, or we simply don't provide the resources in the new age of college athletics, facilities, NIL, scholarships, etc.? If it's resources, changing the coaches' staff isn't going to net long-term success because we won't attract great candidates. If we somehow do, they won't stick. To tell coach his coaches aren't good enough that he picked tells him that you don't trust him in judging coaches.
What?
I get all of what you're saying. I
have been seeing on our chat line for 4 years to fire all the coaches.
I mean, specifically the one that's gotten the most
pitching coach
is Matt Gardner.
And so now that you're saying there could possibly be changes now that it's not administration doing it, it's Tadlock doing it.
I think that's what the texter's saying. I think when you have a season like this, everything's up for evaluation,
sure,
reevaluation. And
I'm not saying otherwise.
I'm talking about what our texter's saying. I just believe I think I would be surprised if you don't have some sort of changes. That's my opinion. No inside knowledge. We'll see. I'd be surprised if you don't have some sort of changes, though. Because when you have a season like this, that's usually what happens in sports, regardless of baseball, basketball. I don't know if it's going to be pressure from up top. I don't know if it's Tadlock decision. I just think you'll probably see some sort of changes. This from the chat line. I'd take Davis and replace Rocker in the starting role. Well, Rocker hadn't been in the starting role, right?
No,
he's kind of gotten pushed out. Leiter, Malley, obviously DeGrom, Evaldi, and tonight's pitcher that I'm already forgetting. Patrick Corbin. That's
Corbin's up because of Leiter.
No, Leiter pitched last night or Sunday.
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
Yeah, no, Corbin's been pitching
up.
really well. Yeah. Corbin's been up the whole year. Rocker has been a spot guy.
That's where it is. Okay. Yeah.
Let's see. Buttface really wants to chime in. Speak your mind, Buttface. Okay.
Oh, thanks for having me.
I don't know what that was about.
Why is...
Beard, so multiple people are saying Beard was April 1 because the 4-1 thing.
There's a level of comedy there.
There we go.
Appreciate.
There we go.
So I'm more confused now than I have been in quite some time. Do you know why I'm more confused?
Because Chris Snead's wearing the same shirt he was yesterday. It's basically the same.
No, it's the fact that
he's here.
I'm filling in for Chris Snead, and he's now in the production room.
Oh, yeah.
In the producer studio with Clint Scott.
And he's trying to kiss Clint. I think there's laws against that.
HR.
Yep.
HR.
Keep in mind of who our HR person is.
Hey, I think if you just let him, you get free vacation. At least that's how it worked in the office. Right?
Wow.
If he kisses you, you get like paid vacation for 2 or 3 months. That's what happened in the office.
Yeah, that's what
Okay.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So you should just let him.
Well, if he got near me, do I get a month?
Something like that.
Yeah, if there wasn't contact.
I don't know. Did you feel something?
Emotionally?
Well, or on your leg. I don't know.
Wow.
I don't want to chime in anymore.
I think he had a packet of gum in his
Buttface wants out.
We need Chuck to intervene in a blue shirt. Goodness. I haven't seen Chuck wear blue in a while. Has he been wearing blue?
No.
Okay.
Probably not since the emission.
Yeah.
Like that's...
I bet we have our we have the Business Expo coming up on Thursday. I can almost guarantee Chuck will wear blue to the Business Expo because he said he can get whatever he wants.
Why are all these women fainting by the double T97.3 tent?
Here's the problem. He also said this morning, and I fully believe that he meant every word of this. There are 3 things that he regrets telling us on the radio. Number 1 is that he's from Missouri.
Yep.
Number 2 is the status of his garage.
What's the status of the garage?
Not able to park in.
Oh, okay.
And
I can't park in mine either.
Jamie and I have repeatedly offered to go over there.
I can't park in mine either.
And go over there and help him clean it out or get it situated so they can park in the garage.
Like, help me too.
That Jamie's the one that initiates that offer. I will help if Jamie makes the offer.
Okay.
But the third one is that the blue shirt story that he regrets. So I do not think we will see a blue shirt,
as he should,
for quite some time.
Someone said Arkansas didn't make the podium.
I was shocked Arkansas didn't make the podium. I was shocked.
But that wasn't an admission of something. That was just him,
Arkansas,
not listening. Yeah,
he was listening. He just didn't answer the question that was asked. It's different.
I'm surprised his I don't like, as he calls, the sad elephant song from the ASPCA commercials, because now he has to hear it all the time for what's it been, 3 years, 2 years now?
It's gotten less, only because the complaining has been less, the whining has been less. So the song has achieved its
what you're saying is he doesn't have the blues.
Correct, yes. Or the clues, as the case may be.
Y'all chime in. We'll get to more of your thoughts on the Yates Flooring Center chat line coming up. It's the Bottom Line on 100.7 The Score.
bringing you the truth, or something like the truth. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
On we go to our numero dos. You're hanging out with the Bottom Line on 100.7 The Score, 107thescore.com, and the 100.7 The Score mobile app. Brought to you by Happy State Bank. Or watchable on TV, Fox 34 News Now. And on YouTube, Fire Stick, Roku, Apple TV, whatever you got. However you're joining us from, we are glad that you've decided to make us part of your Tuesday. Jamie Lint joins us now in the First United Bank studio. Clint Scott across the way. I'm Chois Woodman. Y'all keep chiming in if you'd like to do so. Thoughts, comments, questions, all welcome on the Yates Flooring Center chat line through that 100.7 The Score mobile app, which you can carry anywhere with you. Even listening out in New Boston, Texas. It's got to be better than the old one, right?
I feel like I've called a game from there.
From New Boston? Really?
Yeah. Or maybe just...
I think it actually is East Texas.
Yeah, or maybe just face them in the playoffs, maybe.
New Boston is in Bowie County. Does that help you at all?
No.
It is Far East Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember if I went there.
Straight north of Maud.
Maud. Okay.
Straight or west of Texarkana. So
Okay.
there you go. That's your territory.
Used to be. Not anymore.
Used to did.
Mm-hmm.
Jamie may not know this if he didn't look at the notes. We are going to rank the Big 12 baseball teams in the tournament here in about 15 minutes. For teams we think have the best chances to win it all. And then I will give you the Vegas odds to see how much ours line up with that.
Okay.
Hottest teams, that sort of thing. So we'll go through 1 through 12, best chances to go win the tournament. And you could just go in order 1 seed through 12 if you want to be bland. That's okay.
Ah, you took my idea.
Darn it.
Be bland. Where I have T-shirts that I bought at Clint's T-shirt stand that say
Be
bland.
Set the combatant to Nike's Just Do It slogan. This is Jamie's
bland.
Be bland. Just be bland.
Dream small.
Not this week. We need to dream big this week.
One of my favorite songs.
Dream small?
Yeah. You should check it out. You'd like it.
Is that I don't know if you're being real.
I'm being real.
That's a real song.
It's by a local artist, too.
I thought you were just making stuff up, like making fun of Aerosmith, Dream On.
No.
By a local artist.
Yes.
Okay. Josh Wilson?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, he's the Christian guy from here,
Yes.
right? The Christian artist.
Yes.
Okay, I know who he is. I don't know if I've ever heard this song.
Okay. Well, it's really good.
There you go. Dream small. I will. That's you can't dream small this week though.
No, that's fair.
Because we need big
That's
dreams for a Big 12 tournament, for Super Regional in Tallahassee, for the Dallas Stars to get through to the Stanley Cup Finals, for the Rangers to sweep the Yankees. All of these things. Dream big, baby. You're on board for every single one of those, right?
Not really. Not so much. Good try to slip that in there. I wouldn't notice.
I should have gone second with that. And
You
maybe
think
weren't.
just because I don't look at you all the time that I'm not paying attention, but actually yeah.
I thought that's exactly what that means. Okay. You know, Jeff and I were just going through the Big 12 preseason poll versus the finishing standings.
So that probably
It's actually way more accurate than I would have guessed.
wasn't super fun.
There were three teams that had the biggest gaps from preseason poll to where they finished.
Oh, man. Probably West Virginia would be up there.
No, they were picked fourth.
So
it wasn't
that's
that far
3
off.
spots.
Yeah.
Okay. So that feels like 3 seems like a big jump to me, one way or the other.
Does it? Okay. Clint and I
yeah.
were just saying, I didn't think 3 was that far
Tech
off.
from like 5 or 6 to 9.
5 to 9.
5 to 9.
That's
yes.
4 spots. Yep.
Yeah.
That's not the big ones, though. How about your second place finisher? The biggest jumper.
Kansas.
Kansas was picked 9th. And
Man, I was putting together my broadcast sheets for Kansas because we're probably going to play them in the championship game.
of course.
And this is a team of a coaching staff that is they are all in the style of now. I think they had about 7 guys back from last year's team.
Oh, my.
31 of the 39 on their roster have played somewhere else. I mean,
30?
there is
Wow.
and I think there was 4, maybe 5 freshmen.
Okay.
I mean, there is no thought of let's go recruit high school kids and develop.
Why would we do that?
They're just 3rd and 4th year pitcher after 3rd and 4th year pitcher that they've taken from somewhere else, and it's obviously working for them.
You were actually pretty high on Kansas to start the season.
Yes,
I
yes.
remember you talking
Yeah.
about them. And
Kansas and Arizona State, I was very high on.
Yeah.
Arizona State was where I thought they should have been until they just gave up the last weekend of the season.
Yep.
Yeah, and went from 2, had a chance at 1, and ended up 5th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other biggest movers, Oklahoma State, went
Okay.
from 1 to 7.
Yeah. And imagine to think at the beginning of the year they were at, right, way down near the bottom.
Yeah, they spent a long time in last or close to it. And the actual biggest faller, I guess it would be tied for it, UCF. UCF was a preseason number 7.
They're the most confusing team in the league.
Finished 13th.
The most confusing team in the league. I
Easily.
mean, you look at their numbers, both pitching and hitting wise, and they're good.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're
How
a
many-
team that I would have been scared to face in Arlington, or nervous about facing in Arlington,
Yeah.
because they have talent. But maybe you look at them and Texas Tech similarly. Now, I know UCF's numbers are better.
Well,
But
here's some stats that'll make you nauseous. Okay.
I love that around lunchtime.
Big 12 leader in conference-only wins. Who is that? Jack Siebert.
Okay.
Okay. The home run leader overall in the Big 12.
Logan Hughes.
Okay. 2 of the top 3 guys in total hits. Hughes and Bravo.
Hughes and Bravo. Okay, I was going to say that, but I didn't know Villeneuve was in there. I forgot he was hurt. So. Okay.
Okay. Siebert, the first reliever since 2017 to win 7 games without a start. Okay.
So maybe these two teams are similar, UCF and Texas Tech.
I mean, it just shows that Tech didn't have the depth, right? They had some guys have really good years, but didn't have depth. I mean, you ended up 13 and 17 in Big 12 play.
Yeah.
Just I don't know, like those kind of things frustrate me to no end, knowing that there was talent there, just not enough consistency up to this point.
Yep.
And, now would be a good time to turn it on.
It would be great. We'll continue this conversation, get to our rankings as we rank the teams in the Big 12 tournament. Coming up next, it's The Bottom Line on 100.7 The Score.
Getting to the point, but taking the scenic route to get there. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
It's a Tuesday with The Bottom Line on 100.7 The Score and 107thescore.com. Y'all keep chiming in. Thoughts, comments, questions, all of it welcome on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. We'll continue to talk some baseball, get some football conversation, basketball, all sorts of stuff as we roll along. We're going to do something we haven't done in a while. How about some power rankings? All right, we're each giving our in order rankings of the Big 12 baseball teams that we think have the best chance to win the tournament to the worst. Or we can start at the bottom and go up. And then we'll give the Vegas odds for the tournament to compare. See what Vegas thinks of it. You want to start or me?
You want to?
I do?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. At 12, I've got Brigham Young. I think they played well at home this past weekend, but overall pitching, I think they don't have the pitching to get this done. 11, Houston. 10, this is where you're going to think I'm absolutely nuts. West Virginia. 9, Cincinnati. 8, Baylor. 7, Texas Tech. 6, Kansas State. 5, Oklahoma State. 4, Arizona State. 3, Arizona. 2, Kansas. And 1, TCU.
Okay. Well, that was disgusting.
What, the top 2 mainly?
Just the whole thing.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, go ahead.
All right, 12, BYU. 11, Houston. 10, Baylor. 9, Cincinnati. 8, Texas Tech. 7, Kansas State. 6, West Virginia. 5, Arizona. 4, Arizona State. 3, Oklahoma State. 2, KU. 1, TCU.
Well, that's great. Clint?
What are we doing here?
You're going to put Kansas at 1. So we know that. So.
No, I'm
You know?
going. I'll be honest. Especially 10 through 12, I don't think it really matters. But so just for fun, Houston 12, BYU 11,
Okay.
and Baylor 10, Cincinnati 9, Texas Tech 8, Oklahoma State 7, Kansas State 6, Arizona State 5, Arizona 4, West Virginia 3, Kansas 2, TCU a 1.
So we all picked TCU to win it.
That's gross. I went way out there with the West Virginia thing. That's probably not even close to accurate, but I think they're playing some bad baseball right now.
Well, first off, I don't think they're that great. I think they're I don't think they're playing great baseball. It was really odd the way they, I don't know, just the way they played that last weekend against KU. I do think I'm of the opinion that Kansas is one of the top 2 or 3 most talented teams in the league for certain.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would not be shocked at all. I think TCU is in that mix as well. I have Oklahoma State up there because they're playing better than anybody in the conference right now. Plus, at 45 in the RPI, they probably still have work to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're a motivated bunch. Boy, a first day loss to them would be horrible.
It would be.
Yeah.
It would be.
But
So
I think they're playing as good as anybody in the conference right now. I would not be shocked to see them win it. Now, the tough part for them is they have to play the extra game compared to a KU or a TCU or West Virginia or Kansas or Arizona.
So how many teams actually play with – are there any that can play
their way in without winning it?
Well, I'm just saying, like, that can do what we've seen so many times in the past and go into this thing without any motivation to have to win. I know there's teams that are in, but pecking order, positioning.
I would guess K-State, West Virginia.
West Virginia's played themselves out of
Kansas.
a regional chance, right?
Oh, sure.
So-
Yeah, I think so. They're 28 in the
So
RPI.
TCU probably can get a regional still, right?
They're at 17 in the RPI, so they got a shot.
I would guess they grant, especially if TCU wins it or even plays in the championship game. I would guess TCU gets a host site because they want to give one to the Big 12. That would be a guess, but we'll see. Plus, the whole regionality thing. Remember, TCU may be the furthest west team.
UCLA is 15 in
That's
the
true.
RPI.
Okay. So you might
Oregon is 12.
So you'll probably have a couple, but
Oregon State is 6.
and you'll have its team in Texas with Texas.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
maybe they don't have it working for them as much.
But if they win the Big 12, maybe. If they win the
If they
tournament.
win, I think they will guarantee it.
Yeah. I wouldn't
say.
guess Kansas could fight their way into a host spot.
So Kansas is in that territory of not having to do anything.
I think they're pretty good. Yeah,
I
they're
think they're
going to
in
get
the
in.
tournament.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with that.
So Kansas is there, West Virginia's
I think
there.
West Virginia's there. K-State at 33 is probably there. Cincinnati's another interesting one at 34.
Yeah.
I
The
don't
conference
know.
record is not good.
Both of those two, Kansas State and Cincinnati, I think there are a bit of question marks there.
Cincinnati definitely doesn't want to lose to Texas Tech the first round. They're going to be highly motivated to not fall there.
Yeah, they should.
So.
Everyone should be highly motivated.
Not everybody. I mean,
Yeah,
we've
okay.
seen this tournament before. We've been through plenty of times where you don't have to be motivated.
Does the one and done though change that a little bit?
I would guess so.
Yeah.
I think it's more competitive.
Like Kansas to me is the only one that just doesn't have a huge, massive swing that could go one way or the other for them.
I think West Virginia. Go ahead.
I think West Virginia is. I guess West Virginia is the other one.
But I think what West Virginia has to play for is not losing on or finishing the season on such a bad losing streak.
But I wouldn't be comfortable if I was K-State and Cincinnati at 33 and 34.
I think you're right.
I don't think I'd be wanting to lose in the first round.
So the Vegas odds, which, by the way, we have a whole preview, Texas Tech-centered preview for the Big 12 tournament up at doubleTSportsNetwork.com. If you want to go check it out. It's got possible matchups for Tech, the Vegas odds. It's got the changes to the format, all of that, and it's got the bracket itself, so you can go see that at doubleTSportsNetwork.com. But Vegas odds have TCU with the best chances at 1, a tie for second between West Virginia and Kansas. Arizona State 4th at 5-1 odds. There you go. Arizona next 8-1 odds. Kansas State 9-1 in 6th. Oklahoma State 10-1. Cincinnati 11-1 odds. Baylor, here's a big drop off after Cincinnati. Baylor 25-1. Texas Tech 40-1 along with BYU, and dead last Houston at 50-1 odds to win the tournament.
Where was BYU?
Tied with Tech.
Okay.
40-1.
Okay.
So OSU at 10-1. That might be kind of a steal.
Low. Yeah.
I mean, the way they've played.
Mm-hmm. They've also been a team that's gone there before, out of the tournament and won the whole thing to get themselves in.
It does.
Just the way that they've played of late, though, just says that they've got some things figured out.
What's their RPI sitting?
I think 43.
So OSU is still a team that
45.
has to go win this thing, though, right?
I probably so.
I mean, they might be able to jump depending who they're playing with some wins, but I'd be surprised if they can, at minimum, not get to Sunday. Or Saturday. They'd have to get to the championship to maybe bring a conversation there. So, there you go. Big 12 look ahead for the Red Raiders. Of course, if Tech wins the first game against Cincinnati, you've got West Virginia, who is really struggling right now. Doesn't mean they won't beat you, but they have got 6 out of the last 7 games have been losses. And this is after they had a 18-game winning streak, 14-game conference winning streak.
It just the schedule, the way it worked out for West Virginia was just crazy.
You're not wrong.
It was just crazy.
Even with it, though, to get to 40 wins is still something.
No question, no doubt. But I just don't think they've had to, weekend after weekend play the tough teams in the conference. They've scheduled nobody with a pulse in non-conference play, so it'll be interesting to see how this goes.
Get to a question of the day coming up next. It's the bottom line on 100.7 The Score.
Bringing you the truth, or something like the truth. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Thanks for hanging with us on a Tuesday. This is the bottom line on 100.7 The Score and 107thescore.com. 100.7 The Score mobile app. Brought to you by our friends at Happy State Bank. He's Jamie. I'm Chois. Clint across the way. Y'all keep chiming in on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. We'll get back to some football, basketball conversation. Talk a little more baseball as well coming up. But first, Jamie, let's take a little stop for a question.
Time now for Jamie's question of the day on 100.7 The Score. Brought to you by someone not named Jamie and presented by Connecticut of West Texas. Life's hard, your water shouldn't be.
All right, Jamie, Clint, our fine listening audience. First off, did you see the little caveat, the buyout in Coach McCasland's contract? I brought it up earlier, but I didn't know if you had seen it.
Did not see it.
So Coach McCasland got a new contract, a extension worth $31.5 million. But there is language in there that if he leaves for another school, he has to pay he or said school has to pay 40% back of the remaining salary.
Okay.
The caveat there is if he leaves for a school in the state of Texas, they have to pay 60% back.
Okay. Baylor would fall into that category.
I like Texas Tech covering tail a little bit with that one.
Yeah, that's
Baylor,
good.
Texas, A&M, because obviously A&M pursued him in the offseason.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a fan of this. Anyway, so our question of the day has to do somewhat with this. Coach McCasland signed a new contract. My question for y'all is, of your big three head coaches, Joey McGuire, Grant McCasland, and Tim Tadlock, rank them in the order of who you think from May 20th of 2025 is here the longest, still in Lubbock the longest. So who do you think is here the longest? Who do you think has gone the soonest? And this could be 15 or 20 years down the road for all of them, hopefully. Could be sooner than that.
Oh, man.
It's tough, isn't it?
I think I would go Tadlock last because of his age and just wondering how many more years he's going to coach. Not that he's old.
Well,
he's not.
It just feels like he's been here for a long time. I mean, he has been here for a really long time.
13 years?
Guys don't usually last as long as he has at one spot. So I get it. It doesn't, because he's not. I don't think he's any older than Joey McGuire is he? I think they're around the same age.
I think Tadlock is. Didn't we just look this up? Isn't he like 54 or 56?
56 sounds right. But yeah, it was in the.
Joey McGuire is 53.
Okay.
And I think, let's see, Tim Tadlock is.
I'm going to change my mind.
He was born in 68, so he's 56.
I'm going to change my mind. I'm going to go. Man, I'm all over the place. I think McCasland the longest. I think then Tadlock. Then I think Joey McGuire.
Football coaches last the shortest amount. They have the shortest lifespan.
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
So, I mean, if you're just going by that, they do have the shortest lifespan of anything, of the coaches out there.
I think you were going originally where I was going because I agree on McCasland.
Mm-hmm.
One, you're still early on in his tenure, but I also think for the schools coming in of interest that would be a little scary to see if he would say yes or no to. You've already gone through some of that with him, and I don't think you've gone through that with McGuire yet.
Correct.
And so I would go McCasland 1. I would go McGuire 2. I'm not going just from the age, but just from how long Tadlock has been here, that I do think will plays a factor into that. So I think I'll go McCasland 1, McGuire 2, Tadlock 3. Super fun question, Choice.
It was because of the contract extension. That's the only reason I bring it up. Man, it's hard not to believe coaches when they say stuff, but we've also been burned by coaches when they say stuff. Joey McGuire says he wants to finish his career here, but also there's so much pressure on winning in football. I mean, it's just there's more pressure on it than anything else. So, I am hopeful that he's here for a really long time, but I think because of what you said, Jamie, or just because of your reasoning, I think I'd go the same order as Clint. I'd put McGuire in the middle. I think I'd put Tadlock, because who knows when he's just ready to go fish and hang out with grandkids, and because he's not far off from that. And
I'm not saying this is the heavy part of the decision, but if you told me one of the three also was like, okay, I've coached a long time and I'm kind of done with where college athletics were.
Yep.
My guess would be that would be Tadlock.
Oh, clearly McGuire and Grant McCasland are all in on the way it is right now because it's hugely helping their programs.
They've adapted to it because it is helping their programs.
I'm sure Tim Tadlock would adapt a whole lot more if
they
had something to adapt to.
Someone wants to throw a big old check this way.
Yeah.
Hey, I like this third baseman over here.
It's like having a child just live in the desert his whole life, and the first time he sees water, you're like, you ready to swim? I've never had the chance to. What are you talking about?
And I think it makes sense to put Tadlock at the bottom as well, just because you would think unless the financial support comes, that there's just one way or the other, one side or the other is going to say we got to do something different.
Possibly. Yep.
Yeah.
Possibly. I hope not. I hope this is a conversation where we sit here and have the same talk 10 years from now. That would be fun. That would be assuming we're
If you
here.
ask this question again in 10 years, I get to throw something at you.
If I ask this, no, we're happy about it if it's coming back around in 10 years.
Yeah, but then we have to do the same thing.
I'm curious, like what athletics departments have guys that have hung around for a while? Because McCasland, we're sitting here talking about that and putting him at the top of the list, and he's been here 2 years.
Yeah, but I guess the question would be, why would he? He's a good coach. There's no question.
Sure.
Why would he want to leave?
We asked that about a guy.
Yeah, I mean when he has
ago.
the facilities and the financial support and all of that, and he's got it rolling here. He's done a great job. Why would he want to leave?
I truly believe in the Chris Beard decision. I'm not saying it was the main reason or all of the reason, but I think it was a big part of the reason. I truly believe Chris Beard knew that the SEC was coming and trying to bury the Big 12. I think he knew about that when he made his decision to go to Texas. I think that factored in. So maybe that would be something if we get a conference realignment blow up again. But I don't. I think Texas Tech's got a seat at the table. So
and also this history and the tradition in the school that Texas is, you could understand saying there's a better chance that I'm going to be able to have everything that I want there than here that's going to help me win a championship, even though he had done a great job with what had been given him here, which was everything that he wanted.
I mean, he literally got a $20-something million facility.
But I don't feel like Grant McCasland can say the same thing about Baylor if he wanted to go back to his alma mater.
They've got a recent national championship.
Yes, but I don't think that he can look at their situation and be like, it's better there than it is here.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, it's better here.
Absolutely, it is. I mean, there's people in Waco that are absolutely saying why do they have that in Lubbock, but we can't have that.
I don't think it's just Waco.
True, but we're talking about Baylor.
Yeah.
Okay, y'all can bring in your thoughts. Answer that question on the Gates Flooring Center chat line. Was that a downer question? I didn't intend for it to be a downer question. I'm not trying to anybody's career.
I mean, 99% of the Texas Tech fan base, what their opinion is on that.
That it's Tadlock at the bottom?
Yes, and McCasland and McGuire 1 and 2.
It kind of felt like, like when you're older and your parents, you probably have about 10 years left or so, maybe less. And you're like, hey, how much longer do you think they're going to live?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Thanks for that.
Yeah.
This has been the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score. Go to 100-7thescore.com for more from the Double T Sports Network.